looking at it.
Okay, everybody.
Oh, hang on, just make my phone's on silent. Wouldn't want that going off, so fine. Right.
Apologies for not being here recently.
No, of course. I haven't seen you in a bit. The beard's looking well, though.
Thank you very much.
Since they allow people to have beards.
Yeah. Don't say that again. I got into trouble on that.
Oh, okay.
Got some really good clippers.
Take that bit out.
Good clippers at Christmas stuff. Philips ones, computerised like robotic ones. Brilliant.
Battery ones now for me, rechargeable battery ones.
Yeah, but brilliant.
Very good.
No,
very impressed though.
I just put my
Wall, I believe. Wall.
She doesn't like the beard, so that's why I think she...
Mine didn't until I shaved on chewing. You got to go it back. True story. I went, you just haven't shaved. You went, you look rubbish. You look awful. I went, oh. So I didn't think I looked that good before. And she went, you didn't. I went, oh, that's good then.
So yeah, I've been preoccupied with Manchester United. I apologise, but they've changed manager, and it's changed everything. You've not changed manager, and yet turn of the year, your record's been good. What's their secret? Is they've gone back to their DNA. It seems. Have you gone back to your kind of DNA?
I think we got to our DNA first. Thank you. No, I think. I've mentioned it. I don't want to go over it too many times, but just to give anyone who hasn't heard it, I think we've had a lot going on this season. I think it confuses sometimes individuals, sometimes the team, sometimes the club in a way of the thinking and where we're at. And I think we've taken big strides going back to what we are as a group. We weren't trying not to be, by the way. It just sometimes it drifts, and sometimes a stark reality of just results and kind of a bottoming out period, which I think we had, and I think it was kind of it's hard to explain. You want to guide the team, which we do. We try and kind of pick it to bits and put it back together again as a staff, but sometimes it's the players as well. They just reconnect, and I think there's been a bit of both. I think ourselves as a staff working with the players, I think them finding them on-pitch connections. There's always an off-pitch connection. We've got a really good group, everyone knows that, a lot of honesty, a lot of respect in the camp, but them connections on the pitch and a way of playing that we've always felt can be effective, because I like effective football, and I think we found that again. Now the next challenge is to find that we'll continue, because we have found consistency. 5 games is not easy. I think that's showing consistency when it's 5 games. Then the job now is for the group and ourselves to continue in that vein, is to stay at that level of performance, to stay at it through 90 odd minutes in a game, to stay at it the next challenge that comes. And obviously, we've got a lot of challenges coming our way over the rest of the season, but we've certainly given ourselves another base to work from. We've had a couple of false starts, I think. It looked like we were getting back to us, and then we've come away from it. But five games back to back, I think, and with changes, it's still a group that look like they're finding their way again. So I've been very pleased for them and for us, because we've always had a good connection as a staff with the players. And in turn from that, going with the club as well. Fans have been a big part for us, I think, because it's hard for fans, and a lot's been achieved over a long period, but of course, culminating in a big finish last season, and they've stuck with it, and they've stuck by the team, and I think that's a really, really important factor, and they continue to do so.
Was that a hard thing that you kind of raised that expectation? Not saying that this is real Burnley.
I don't think it's a hard thing. I think it's the natural effect of being somewhat successful, certainly successful in Burnley world. Everyone knows it's an ongoing challenge for us in the Premier League. So 7th is considered very successful, I would say, by most. So to stick with that, knowing the truth behind the club and what it is, I think the fans have done very, very well. I think it's very, very difficult for the modern fan nowadays, because not only the expectation, but all the different media streams adding on to that and putting more weight on situations. And I think they've resisted that and stood by the team. And I think the team have, don't get me wrong, there not been any lack of effort, lack of cohesion, lack of understanding, lack of anticipation at any given moment on a field of play. I don't think there's been a lack of effort. And now I think they're coming back to all them things coming back together as a side, and then, like I say, them on-pitch connections, them relationships that have been there before are beginning to find their way again. It's got to continue, though. It's got to continue. Do
you notice those kind of good habits creeping back in kind of day to day when you talk about?
I think yourself, it's performance related football. On a day to day basis, I don't think there was. I wasn't that worried about the workload on the pitch. I was actually really pleased. We were going through a period. I think myself and the staff had worked as hard as we've ever worked. To analyse what we do, by the way, not just what the players do. And I'm pleased it's kind of reforming something, and so far what we think is appropriate. I don't think there was a lack of it. I think it's just re-energising it, a bit of clarity to the thought from players as well. And I think that's got us back to a place where we are now, which is performing considerably better than what we were. And as you know, I'm a great believer in performances. They don't guarantee it, but they give you a whole better chance of getting wins and points if you're performing well. And I think over the last 5 we've shown that. It's got to continue.
I think sometimes we're fond of telling managers what their priorities should be, but what's your philosophy with the FA Cup? You made changes against Barnsley.
No, it's always been the same. A massive respect for it because of my own history and bits of history with it. But there's a reality to the challenge, and people sometimes forget that. The challenge for us is the Premier League. It's number one. It's the first thing on the mind. It brings so much to the club, so much to the area, and on a consistent basis. Don't forget, the FA Cup brings windows of it, unless you win it, of course. It's there forever, of course. Big task for us this weekend, but there's no lack of respect. We will make changes, almost definitely. We've got a big week again next week with 3 in a week. We're still searching for everyone to get fit. Some people will play that need the game anyway. But it's not because of a lack of respect. It's just a lack of the facts of modern football, I feel.
The one thing that hasn't changed since I haven't been here is the goalkeeper issue. You've still got 3 goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Nick came in against Barnsley. Is that the thought? He might be a cup goalkeeper. Is that me putting words into your mouth?
Yeah, I think they're all in a much fitter place. Obviously Joe had played 19 games. Tom's now got a number of games under his belt, so he'll be getting his eye, back in and his real sharpness, game sharpness. And Pope is the one who's adding to that. There's a fair chance we'll play him. It's not a definite. There's a fair chance he'll play. And
in terms of their state of mind, they're getting used to this sort of situation. I know you're asked about this all the time, but they've all had the gloves, they've all lost the gloves, so they all kind of know what
life as a goalkeeper. Yeah, that's life as a goalkeeper. They know the demand. I said the other week, I don't think the thing that sometimes you forget, they're well aware enough to know each other's styles, standards, capabilities. So they don't sit there naively. They all look at each other and think, well, we're all decent. And they all know that I can only pick one. Well, as a starter, obviously a sub as well. But, they all want the number 1 shirt. It will be an ongoing challenge. There's no two ways about it. But I think every manager wants the best squad and the best team they can have. And you do get these hard decisions to make. But there will be a decision need to be made. And I'll make it in due course as I see fit.
I imagine you watched the Burton game last night. What did you read into that in terms of preparing for Manchester City?
It was a different kind of game. So I don't think you can read all that much. Obviously, a 9-0 start to the game can present a different way the game can pan out and play out. He might well play some more youngsters. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But it's more about us really. The focus. One thing we've definitely done is refocus quite heavily on us. It's not that we weren't doing that, but I think we've added extra weight to that. And that maybe is also something that goes in the thinking with how we've been performing. So there will be a consideration about us. We know the power of Man City. Obviously, everyone does. We know they could change the whole team, virtually, probably the whole team, and still put out a very, very competitive side in the Premier League, let alone in a cup. So, we know that's the truth of the matter.
How do you read the title race? I know it's not the FA Cup, but I know you talk about concentrating yourself. But in terms of...
I've got to be honest, I have no interest in that. I'm interested in Burnley Football Club, what we're looking to achieve, the challenges that come next. In the last week of the season, about a minute after the last game of the season, I'll give me an answer.
So tell me about the transfer window then. Any changes?
And that's fun as well. I sort of have no interest in that because it's very difficult. It's forever difficult. Situations, possibles, not many probables at the moment, and that's just the way that it is. January's very tough. Everyone knows that. We don't say it with just to throw a line out there. All managers. I think it just is. And, if you've got the superpower money, that's different. We quite obviously haven't. We have to work, carefully. And that makes it another challenge on top of just the fact it's January window.
Has the return to doing things well and getting results, though, made it a less pressurised environment in terms of people saying, well, he's not bringing anybody in?
No. We want the pressure. I wanted to bring more in the last window. I've made that, clear to everyone. Not because I don't trust my players, not because I don't rate them. Of course, I do rate them. But there's only so much pressure as a manager and as even as a situation at a club you can put on players. there's a different kind of pressure. There's a different kind of a healthy pressure that comes with new signings and capable signings, because I was a player and you look around and you think, I've got to look after myself. And that, not always, but it can enhance performances. So you've seen it many times where managers bring players in, they don't always play, but what it does, it raises the bar and the standard pushes again. And then if they do play, well, then it still raises the bar because the fella who comes out the team is trying to work to get back in it. And I think, I'm still pushing for that to happen. I still would sign players if they're right for what we need. And we want to do that on an ongoing basis, because that real demand, that in-house demand on the players. As I said, we can put pressure on them. We obviously do, and remind them, and that mixture between pushing them, but also that enjoyable professionalism that comes with playing well and succeeding. There is sort of a subliminal demand. I don't mean they just sit there chatting about it all day, but every day you go out training, when you know someone's come in and you think, right, okay, he's in my position, I've got to be ready and I've got to be pushing all the time. So it just pushes standards all the time.
Someone in that position is sort of Ben Gibson. I mean, you signed him in the last window. Is it fair to say you've not seen the player you signed because of the problems he's had?
Yeah, I mean, he's had an up and down time with injuries. So, he's don't get me wrong, he's willing for a fight, that's for sure. As regards his position, he knows there's capable players here. But he wanted that demand. He knew it. When I bring players in, I never, promise them anything other than the environment that we've got. Certainly not shirts. Everyone has to earn the right to play. But I think he has had an indifferent start with injuries, and that's just out of everyone's hands. He's a very fit fella though, so he's looked after himself, and he's going along nicely, I think.
In terms of housekeeping and knocks, anything we should know about?
Yeah, we're still getting kind of close. Johan's close again. He's back on the grass, but it's whether we probably make a call on that one. Robbie comes out of suspension, of course. Stephen's coming back to full fitness. We know that. Wardy, of course, as well. So they're getting there now, as in back on the grass training. It's getting that real match fitness and that edge back to them as well. So we sort of keep stepping closer to getting a fully fit squad, and it'll be a nice moment when that happens. Hard in one way, because you've got to make decisions, even bigger decisions, not just the goalkeepers but other areas of the pitch. And then right backs, sorry, the ones I missed out is Bardo and Louts, both a maybe. Louts, I don't think will make it. He's got to rest a toe injury that we thought he could get away with, if you like, which he sort of has done, but he's got to come out and rest that. And Bardo's a maybe.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thank you.
Right, James, okay, cameras off. Thank you.